What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Tuesday, February 6th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. We have some major breaking news coming in this morning from the Middle East and Eastern Europe. So, the Polish defense minister stated this morning that he is preparing for a worst case scenario. I think all scenarios are possible, and I take the worst ones very seriously. We have to be preparing for anything. So we're reviewing the situation, drawing conclusions, and filling in gaps, including when it comes to weapons and ammunition. And this is coming just 2 days after Poland announced that they're issuing a massive air navigation warning along their entire eastern border with Belarus and Ukraine, and then also in the north with Russia, and including their capital, Warsaw. And this air navigation warning is basically telling pilots that they have to turn on their transponders if they're flying in the eastern half of Poland, and they have to be prepared for unplanned military actions related to state security. And one of the Polish newspapers reported that the Polish government or Polish military has been secretly building bunkers and fortifications along their border with Russia and Belarus recently. So this is extremely serious, guys. We also have continued escalation. The Houthis are now claiming that they targeted two commercial ships yesterday, an American ship and a British ship. And the U.S. military confirmed last night that they destroyed two surface vessels that were loaded with explosives, unmanned surface vessels. Okay, these are basically drones on water, and they had to destroy two of them because they were heading towards U.S. warships. Okay, so they had to destroy two of those last night, and the Houthis targeted two ships, one American, one British. So it's continuing to escalate, guys. It's not getting any better. Let me just read to you what U.S. Central Command wrote here on February 5th at approximately 3:30 p.m. Yemen time. U.S. Central Command forces conducted a strike in self-defense against two Houthi explosive uncrewed surface vessels. U.S. forces identified the explosive USVs in Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen and determined they presented an immediate threat to U.S. Navy ships and merchant vessels in the region. So, guys, the Houthis are expanding their toolbox. Okay, they were starting out with just anti-ship missiles. Now they're using these surface vessels that are unmanned. So very, very concerning. The situation in Poland is very concerning. And Trump said over the weekend that Iran will acquire nuclear weapons within 60 days. And he also warned that World War III could start within the next 9 months before the presidential election. Now, Trump is very well connected. He's a billionaire. So I'm sure somebody's giving him some pretty solid information for him to be saying that. And Politico is reporting that Biden has declined to directly address the nation about his administration's offensive in the Middle East. He's been driven by concerns that delivering a major speech could escalate tensions with Iran and spark a larger regional conflict, according to three senior administration officials. So basically, trying to minimize the situation by not giving it that high level where he has to deliver a speech in front of the whole country. But it is a serious situation, as you see. Okay, the Houthis are continuing their attacks. The Iranian proxies in Iraq and Syria are continuing their attacks. So it's not getting any better. And what you're looking at here is a Swedish reconnaissance plane operating off the coast of the Baltic countries this morning. Okay, so NATO is continuing to monitor the Baltic region. Here we have the British Maritime Organization warning for one of the Houthi attacks. And this was put out last night, but it turns out that 2 ships were actually hit. Okay, this was reported by the Yemeni armed forces. They wrote that they targeted the American ship Star Nasia and the British ship Morning Tide with suitable naval missiles, and strikes were direct and accurate, meaning they hit them. Okay, so guys, things are really escalating, and the European Union stated yesterday that they are very close to launching a naval mission to protect ships from Houthi attacks in the Red Sea. Okay, so the EU is just about ready to deploy a task force of their own because the American task force is failing. What an embarrassment, guys. Very sad. And we have an unusual amount of reconnaissance going on in the Western Pacific, especially around South Korea. Here we have another US RC 135 combat scent plane. The US Air Force only has 2 of these, and these planes provide intelligence directly to the president and the Joint Chiefs. So if they have one of these flying somewhere, it means something serious is going down or about to go down. And you can see here it took off from Okinawa and it was flying back and forth along the DMZ in Korea, okay, along the border of North and South Korea here in South Korea. So something is brewing here, guys. Okay, if there's a combat scent plane flying along the DMZ 2 nights in a row, that is extremely concerning. Okay, we also had a South Korean AWACS plane that was patrolling in the same exact area around the same time. Okay, and the Israeli military has taken control of much of the Hamas strategic tunnel system in the city of Khan Yunis, and they believe that they are making progress in their hunt for the Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar, according to 2 Israeli defense officials. And the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt, operated by the U.S., has already arrived on the island of Guam. And what's interesting is we just moved 4 B-52s to Guam, and they just did a massive show of force with those B-52s and a bunch of fighter jets. They did an elephant walk over the weekend, and now an aircraft carrier is in Guam. So this is a red flag. It means that something could be going down in the Korean Peninsula or around Taiwan, okay? And we have a massive amount of U.S. naval warships deploying from ports around the United States. Here we have the USS Abraham Lincoln, a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier that left San Diego yesterday. Okay, so an aircraft carrier leaving San Diego yesterday. Here we have the USS Albany, a Los Angeles class attack sub that left Norfolk, Virginia yesterday. Okay, and here we have a French Navy Rubis class nuclear powered attack sub leaving Scotland yesterday. And here we have a U.S. guided missile destroyer, the USS John Finn, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, as it arrived in the Philippines on Sunday. And here we have the USS Curtis Wilbur, an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer that just left San Diego yesterday. Okay, so lots of warships heading out. Okay, a French attack sub leaving Scotland, guided missile destroyer leaving San Diego, attack sub leaving San Diego, aircraft carrier leaving San Diego, guided missile destroyer arriving in the Philippines. It seems like the U.S. is preparing for a war in the Pacific. That's what it seems like to me. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply is doing a limited time sale on their 1-year emergency food supply. They're going to drop the price by $700 for this week only. The sale expires February the 11th, 2024. This 1-year emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life. It's all contained within 24 rugged water-resistant buckets. Free shipping is included. $700 off. To get the deal, go to preparewithnyprepper.com. The link is in the description below this video. They're also doing a discount on the Alexa Pure Pro water filtration system. They're doing an $80 discount. Normally the price is $280. They've dropped it down to $200. And this water filtration system filters out bacteria, heavy metals, chemicals, various types of pesticides and agricultural byproducts. And the best thing is that it does not need electricity to work. It's powered by gravity, so you can take this with you anywhere. If you're going camping, if you're bugging out, if you lose power at home, okay? Or you could use this every day just for everyday use to purify your well water rather than installing a special treatment system that could cost thousands, okay? So to get the deals, go to preparewithnyprepper.com. The link is in the description below this video. $80 off the Alexa Pure Pro water filtration system and $700 off the My Patriot Supply 1-year emergency food supply. Guys, if you buy this thing, you're pretty much set for any scenario. Now, they also have a general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival items. They have a wide variety. To get to their general store, when you go to preparewithnyprepper.com, you click on the top of the page, the logo here, My Patriot Supply. Click that logo, and it'll take you to their general store, and they have everything you need. Okay, so check it out, preparewithnyprepper.com. The link is in the description below this video. We could have Korea and Taiwan both erupt into a massive war at the same time. And what you're looking at here is a tweet from the Taiwan Ministry of Defense, and they said that more Chinese planes and naval vessels were operating around Taiwan today and yesterday. As many as 25 Chinese military aircraft and 6 Chinese military naval vessels were operating around Taiwan. 13 of the aircraft crossed the median line of the Taiwan Strait and entered Taiwan's southwestern and northern ADIZ. That's their air defense identification zone. Okay, so things are really escalating in the Western Pacific as well. And the Biden administration announced that the president would veto the bill supported by the Republicans in the House of Representatives on aid only for Israel, bypassing Ukraine. The government supports a broader bill on aid for Israel and Ukraine and on additional funds to increase border security. So Biden will not sign any bill that doesn't include Ukraine aid. And last night, Russia put out warnings for drone attacks in multiple Russian cities, including Vyborg, Primorsk, Ust-Luga, Vivotsk, and the Leningrad region, okay? So looks like Ukraine might have launched some drones last night all the way up towards St. Petersburg yet again. And Russia has vowed to respond should the U.S. station nuclear weapons in Britain. The warning was issued by Gennady Gatilov, Moscow's permanent representative to the UN, on the state TV channel Russia 24 news agency RIA Novosti reported on Monday. He said Moscow was monitoring Washington's alleged plans to deploy its nuclear weapons in Britain to counter a growing threat from Russia, per British newspaper The Telegraph. We are talking perhaps about the reactivation of an airbase with American nuclear weapons in Great Britain, Gatilov said. There's also talk about the possibility of sending nuclear weapons to the Baltic states, to Poland. All this creates a tense situation. We are monitoring how developments are going in this direction. Of course, if this is so, Russia will be forced to react to this accordingly. Okay, so he's alleging that NATO could be sending nuclear weapons to even Poland and the Baltics. I don't know if that's true. It's definitely possible, though. And Ukraine is hoping to receive some French Mirage 2000 fighter jets, but there's still some obstacles. And apparently, Macron is going to be visiting Ukraine very soon, and they're going to work out those issues. And the Netherlands has decided to increase the number of F-16s it's donating to Ukraine from 18 to 24. And the U.S. has approved the sale of 120 JSAM long-range cruise missiles to the Netherlands for $1 billion. These cruise missiles have a range of several hundred miles. And the U.S. Department of State has approved the sale of 386 Hellfire missiles to the Netherlands, along with technological support for the amount of $150 million. So lots of missiles being sold to European countries, okay? Hellfire missiles and JSAMs going to the Netherlands. Another sign that NATO is preparing for war with Russia. And Britain scrambled 2 Eurofighter Typhoon fighter jets on Monday to intercept a passenger plane flying from Oslo to Manchester. Communication with the civilian plane was lost, and apparently they had to escort this passenger plane, and it safely landed at its destination airport. So looks like a little bit of a scare there, but looks like everything was fine. And France intends to expand its support for Ukraine, not only with finances, but also with various types of weapons. And this was stated by the Prime Minister of France, Gabriel Attal. And the Chinese stock market is continuing to crash, and Xi Jinping is going to be meeting with Chinese financial market regulators because of that. So this could push Xi Jinping to order an invasion of Taiwan. Okay, this could make him feel desperate. And the U.S. has sent Stinger missiles to Taiwan. The Taiwanese military is expected to use the Stinger missile system against low-flying Chinese aircraft in the event of an invasion. This was reported by Taiwan Plus. And here we have the flight path of Vladimir Putin's plane, and he's going to Turkey to meet with the president of Turkey, and they're going to be discussing a new Black Sea grain deal. So I'm going to continue to monitor all these events, guys, but we have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of warships heading out to the Pacific. We have the Polish defense minister saying that he's preparing for a worst-case scenario. This is coming just days after Poland set up that massive air navigation warning. Trump saying that Iran is going to acquire nuclear weapons within 2 months and that World War III could start before the election. So, guys, get prepared, okay? The situation in the Middle East is not getting any better. The Houthis continuing to strike commercial ships. I think we're on the verge of a multi-front war, guys. We're going to have war in Europe with Russia invading Poland and the Baltics. We're going to have war with Iran, okay, over the nuclear weapons that they're building and all their proxies that are attacking our bases. We're going to have war in the Pacific with North Korea and also with China over Taiwan and the Philippines and all those other islands that they're trying to take over. So, guys, get prepared, get right with God. That's the most important prep. And I will be back later on today with more updates. So until then, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.